Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Miliband, he really does have his head in the sand, doesn't he? He's absolutely delusional on many things. He thinks that net zero is a thing that's possible, can be achieved, is possible, and it's not. Basic physics tell you that. He also feels that he's the man to deliver it, and my God, is he wrong on that one? You just ask the people of Britain. Do you want to go the route that Ed Miliband is taking you? And you'd be deafened with a universal hell no, because nobody wants his form of toxic green bullshit. He keeps pushing and pushing this idea, and the more he pushes it, the more it's rejected, the more it's laughed at, and the more foolish he looks. And he doesn't like that. So he keeps pushing harder and harder and demanding more and more. And unfortunately, with the weak government we have, they keep, bending to his will. But he's like Canute trying to hold the tide back. Now, of course, the real Canute knew that you can't, but not him. He still thinks that he's all powerful. He thinks he is godlike. And he's not. He's an idiot. He's a bullied little schoolboy with a little bit of power, and he wants to exact revenge on the world. But the world ain't having it. We all know it's bollocks. We all know it ain't going to happen. And we all know it can't happen because of that one thing, money. We've talked before many times about the fact that the whole of the grid, the national grid, would have to be upgraded at a cost of about 100 billion. And then you're going to have at least 200,000 car chargers. We can't build anything fast enough. We can't do it well enough. And we can't do it cheaply enough to warrant it. His dreams are that. Delusional dreams dreamt up in a fever by this ideologically corrupted, strange little man with his very funny voice. Now, it's not just the people who disagree with him. All the energy company bosses all say that it's unachievable. A huge chorus of disapproval from them, saying, for heaven's sake, Ed, wake up, smell the coffee, pay attention to reality, and see that you cannot do this. And you cannot force people down this line because it is impossible. And by forcing them in, you're only entitled, you're only going to drive resentment and rejection. And they're right. But now BP. Oh, BP have come out, and it really annoys him more. He really is stamping his puny little feet over BP because they've just cut all their greenery. They've put, whatever their budget was, they're halving their budget almost overnight on their push for renewables. They've decided, you know what? The future isn't renewables. The future is oil and gas, and it always will be because oil is used for so many things. And gas always will be because you cannot generate the amount of energy needed for industry without fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are the future. And despite the likes of Miliband and other morons and lunatics that sort of orbit around him, that imminent demise of fossil fuels and especially oil ain't going to happen. There's too many uses for it. And then he goes on, and this is Miliband going, oh, but the oil markets will ebb and flow. They always have, Ed. They always have. But you don't think the green markets will ebb and flow as well? Where do you think all the materials for this green wonderland come from? Well, they all come out of the hole in the ground. Have you seen cobalt mines? Have you seen what India and China are doing around the world, digging up everything that they can get their old hands on? And it's dirty and deadly and radioactive and nasty and toxic. But also you can sit there in your little home countries, where you Cotswolds, going, oh, isn't life wonderful? Not for the thousands of little children in Africa sorting out the shit in polluted cobalt-rich waters, destroying their future and their health. And this push that he has for net zero, he's like the captain of the Titanic, refusing to admit that they've even hit the iceberg. And down he goes, saluting the Queen as he goes glug, glug, glug. Well, the sooner he goes under, the better, because it is absolutely mental. Now, really the only person who can stop him now is Keir Starmer, but Keir Starmer's so spineless, he's a jellyfish leader, that having appointed him into that position, he can't be seen as saying, oh, I got it wrong. Why is everyone at the top of the Labour Party speaking in a very strange, odd, robotic way? I think we need to open them up and see how many wires and bolts and silicon chips are inside these people, because I don't believe there's a single beating heart. But no, he's the only one who can stop them. He's the only one who can put an end to the lunacy of lunacy. Lunacy is not a word. The lunacy of Miliband and this drive for what he wants. It can't happen. It just physically isn't there. Now, with, as I say, BP divesting itself of all the green madness, because they've realised it's not only BP, of course, others, all the major drillers, oil companies, Shell, Standard, what's the French one? Total, all that. They're all doing it. They're all going, no, because they don't want to admit they got it wrong later. So they just go, no, we get it wrong. Okay, we got it wrong. Let's move away now, rather than dragging it out. Because they've got shareholders. They're legally obliged by their shareholders to make money. And of course, if they're doing things that don't make money, the shareholders are starting to rumble and they're going to sue. And so, yes, okay, you can do a bit of R&D, have a look into it. But they've done their R&D, they've had a look into it, and they've said no, because you can't turn it around, you can't make the money. Now, BP invested over 10 billion in renewable technology, trying to make it work, trying to show it could be profitable. Now, if you're 10 billion in the hole and you still can't turn it around, then you know you never are. And if you accept that you never can, then why should the public be on the hook just because Ed Miliband wants to knock one out at night in his bamboo bed, on his little snack of, I don't know what he eats really. There's nothing he eats that hasn't, hasn't been touched by technology really, is there? But, sitting there with his little seeds beside his bed and little blades of grass that he eats like a little hamster, because he's not going to have any meat in him, is he? Well, not that way. But he's there. And so with all these companies slashing it, all of them saying no, where does Ed go? Well, hopefully back into the mental asylum, that nice padded cell, and he can sit there dribbling down him, going, I used to be the Minister of Energy. And they'll say, of course you did, Ed. Now, take your meds. Med Ed, we'll call him. He's just a joke, isn't he? Anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you very much. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you again later. Unlike Ed, who'll just dribble. Bye.